All right, let's see. It says I'm live. Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Stacey Storino. Welcome back to my channel. This is the number one place for the more mature entrepreneur who likely already has a business up and running or they're launching, and they want to understand more about content marketing that doesn't just go where the attention goes. That's important, but that earns its keep, that you're getting all three macro conversions that you need for your business to succeed. Meaning, sure, you're growing your social following. You need social proof. A brand based community is more likely to buy from you, but you can't deposit followers directly into the bank. So, the number two macro conversion is getting more people on your email list. About 75% of all of your sales from month to month will very likely come from your email list. If you're not capturing leads, you're making it so much harder to make a profit, let alone go to multiple 5-6 figures and beyond. And then, of course, the third most important macro conversion, as you might imagine, are sales. Everyone loves their sales. I do too. So, anyway, if it is your first time around here and any of that sounds interesting to you, I have a whole bunch of pre-edited videos that are organized neatly into playlists for Instagram growth, Instagram SEO, Instagram Reels, TikTok growth, TikTok content marketing like an adult to adults. There's all sorts of goodies that are on this YouTube channel. So make sure that you subscribe if you haven't already. Click that bell notification and select all. I will continue to go live after January is over. I'll be doing it once a week at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Wednesdays. But for the last couple days of January, we're going live every single day. So this is a series that I've been doing called the 2022 Entrepreneur Business Reboot Advice Playlist. Okay. So that is, if you've missed any of the previous days live streams that are now turned into replays as videos, you can see live or on the replay. I'll have the first comment pinned, and that'll give you the playlist so that you can catch up on any of the prior days. We've been averaging about an hour a day most days. So this is a whole lot of free coaching for you guys. So I love to give back to the community. And every day's training can kind of stand on its own. But for best results, especially if you're snowed in during this alleged northeaster that we're having, guess what? You've got plenty of free training that can help you to do what you need to do in order to succeed as an entrepreneur in 2022 specifically. So make sure if you've missed any of the prior videos that you catch up. That's all free training for you too. So today we're going to be talking about what to do, especially as an entrepreneur if you're in a slump. I suppose you could use the advice that I'm going to give you for your personal life if you're in a slump too, but I've really been a business coach for 8 going on 9 years, and I've been an entrepreneur for over 20, even when I was side hustling as an entrepreneur, but working full time as a lawyer for 17 and a half of those 20 years. So I've definitely been on both sides of the fence. I totally have a lot of experience. I have thousands of students across the world. You are welcome to join us on these live streams and replays. And again, the pre-edited videos, if you've missed any of those, we're going to go back to doing several of those a week starting February 1st, right? Let me look. I'll greet my students in a minute and then we'll get right into the teaching. Yeah, February 1st will be the first pre-edited video that goes back up on this channel because we'll be out of the daily lives. We'll go to lives once a week on Wednesdays at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that'll be February 2nd is a Wednesday. And then Thursday and Friday, we will have pre-edited videos again. So I released a few this month. So if you haven't seen those and you've caught up on all the other trainings, because I know some of my students have been here every day, you can catch up on the trainings. You can catch up on the videos that I released for January if you so choose. All right. So let me make sure I have everything ready. Okay. All right. And if you want my freebie for 2022, that is 10 reasons why you're seen as a fake guru and how you can change that. So even if you're not a coach or course creator, you're not looking to be a guru, you still want to be seen as a serious business owner or a thought leader in your space. So that guide can fit you too. You can go to don'tbeafakeguru.com to get that freebie. Also, if you want two additional freebies, you can go to content, different ones than the one you do get at don'tbeafakeguru.com. You want to go to Facebook and join my free Facebook group, Content Marketing for Conversions. All right, so that's a whole bunch of free on top of everything else I've done. Let me greet my students, and we're going to go right into the training about how to get out of an entrepreneurial slump. So Heidi's here from Stuff and Junk by Heidi. Marilyn Roselle is here. Hashtag live, hashtag replay, you guys. And if you're a pre-existing student of mine, help your fellow students, Lenora Love and Jane Sharkey. And Chicken Swell is here too. Definitely hit that like button, because forget how it makes me feel. Sure, my heart will go pitter patter, but it'll make sure. And Carol O'Neill, did I somehow skip you? I didn't mean to. And Marissa Parsons. Okay. Oops. Marissa. Hello, Miss Marissa. Make sure that you guys hit that thumbs up, because that really does help serve out. It'll ping more of my subscribers while alive. And then when we're in replay mode, it'll serve up the replay in the feeds for the students. So if you could give me a big thumbs up, I would appreciate it, because actually the students will appreciate it. Okay, so really quickly, while everyone's doing the hashtag live, hashtag replay, on the replay, please put hashtag replay. I'll give you a thumbs up. I'll give you a heart. And if you have any questions live or on the replay, certainly put them in there and I'll get to it. Feeling a little dry with all the heat we're pumping into the house today. All right. So if you're in a slump as an entrepreneur, I want you to dump it and pump things up, because you know what? I don't want you to get to December 31st, 2022, look back over this year and say, I didn't hit many or any of my goals, especially as an entrepreneur. I don't want that, right? When you're in a slump, you are either actively self-sabotaging, or at least you're fighting off the self-sabotage and like the fatigue that comes with doing that. So maybe you're not making your situation worse. So that's the positive, but you're not making yourself feel any better, personally, professionally, or both. You're kind of feeling flat, if not actually super blue. And you know what? If that's how you're feeling about now, because this is January 29th as we're alive, you're in good company, because a lot of people set those January 1st kind of New Year's resolutions. And by the time they get to the month of January, they may have made some positive strides, and that's great. But what ends up happening is that life keeps coming at them. And they kind of knew that was coming, but it's really, really hard. And we can set really progressive goals for ourselves, but we may not have hit all or most of them by now, even the ones that we figured we could get crossed off our list for at least the month of January, right? So it's kind of hard. So if you're struggling to keep up those, let's say, entrepreneurial New Year's resolutions, and we're nowhere near March, where usually there's this huge decline from January through February into March. And then a lot of people will flatline. If it even took them to March, they'll flatline by mid to late March in terms of all or most of their New Year's resolutions. And that's just part of the human condition. Hey, Ann McDonald, what's going on? Good to see you. It's part of the human condition. You're in good company. But what I want you to do is to not just say, oh, okay, I don't feel so bad. You're one of us, I'm one of you, right? So, I want you to actually I've got, 7 tips that's going to help you get out of your entrepreneurial slump, right? So that you don't get into February and March and things are getting worse and worse, or you're doing less and less. And the trajectory of your business that might have shot off really good with all the best intentions, and you're crossing off all your baby step list goals that you should get done before the end of the day. And maybe you've hit 1 or 2 of your short-term goals or whatever, but you keep losing, keep running out of gas, I guess is what I'm trying to say. We don't want you to get into February and not be hitting those goals. We don't want you to get into the month of March and not be hitting those goals. And by the time April's here, you're back to whatever dissatisfying personal and or professional life you had going on this time 2021. That's not acceptable, right? So after all of your hard work on making a big change entrepreneurially, especially if you've attended all or most of the 28 days worth of free coaching up to now, I know that some people, whether they were pre-existing students of mine or not, have been saying they've been making strides. They feel like this year is different. Hey, Mike Reinart, what's going on? Everybody say hi to Mike. Brother Mike is here. All right. I know that a lot of people are like, I've been really setting and meeting my goals. I have an email list when I didn't before, or I had an old email list and I livened it up. And you're right, the first week or so, I got a lot of unsubscribes, but everyone else who's there is playing full out. I have healthy open rates and I'm actually selling things. That's great. But like after all your hard work on making a big change in terms of your business, or maybe several big changes in terms of your business, does it seem like now that we're getting to the very tail end of January that you're feeling worn down and uninspired? And it's kind of disappointing. Even if you've crossed off baby step goals, even a short-term goal or two from your list, you're like, why am I feeling like now I'm in a slump or I'm kind of burnt out? Well, first of all, let me tell you before I get to the 7 tips, it's to be expected, right? This is like going into my 9th year of coaching. So I have to be honest with you. I've coached thousands of people from all over the world through the years. You're one of us. This is part of the human condition. It's part of the whole package that involves change, personally and or professionally. But it doesn't have to completely derail you or otherwise undermine your progress. So before I get into the tips, let me give you kind of like a visual or kind of like a word picture so you understand why it's not unusual, even if you've been chugging along on your goals, to kind of start to feel kind of like flat or burnt out or stuck or plateaued. And you're like, well, I don't get it. Think about it this way. If you injure yourself, I don't know if you've ever been injured or maybe you've been like really, really sick, like it's not a quick head cold, you're really, really sick. Maybe you've had that thing that's been going around over the last few years. Let's just say something really derails you physically. You might have been going good to great before that, but then you get derailed, you're in bed and you feel weak, right? And you're like, why am I so weak? Even 1-2 weeks after maybe that big physical thing that happened to you. Maybe it's an injury and you're like, I don't get it. Like I should be fully healed. Why am I so exhausted? Well, your body's doing a lot of work that it doesn't normally have to do on top of keeping itself up and running just to breathe and to blink your eyes and all of that stuff that you don't think about but is going on in the background, right? So let me tell you something. You will be very surprised to realize, hey, my body's been healing. If I'm injured, things are knitting back together. That's a lot of extra energy that's not normally going on. So sure, it's a positive thing that I'm healing from a big illness or I'm healing from an injury, but it's not abnormal to kind of be exhausted, even if you've had, like, say, a ton of bed rest, right? So drawing a parallel to where you might be by now, especially if you've been keeping up with the other 28, we're now on our 29th day of free training here. And again, if you've missed any of the live stream / replays on the live and on the replay for this video, you'll see the first comment pinned for the playlist. You will not miss a thing. You may have been doing a lot of work behind the scenes, working in tandem with what I've been teaching. And yet you've been also having to do all the work of your everyday life too, right? You can't let the other shoe drop. So all this extra like learning curve, power hours of implementation, and all of these things, I have to tell you, you might be very tired because the separate but parallel tracks of your life, you might have been working one the whole time, your personal life, your family life. But now if you're really amping up and ramping up, even if you have a lot of results from what you've been doing, it is not unusual to kind of get to the end of January and still be like, wow, I still feel really tired, really burnt mentally, physically, emotionally. And that's weird because I have been getting a lot done. Well, guess what? That's why, because your body mentally, physically, emotionally, you've been now amping up and ramping up for your business with all of these days of coaching, right? And yet keeping up with everything else you've been keeping up with. It's a lot to juggle all those flaming batons. You might feel stuck. You might feel tired. You might feel like really kind of burnt out. Or even if you don't feel burnt out, you're like, wow, I thought I'd be feeling so much better. But like, I see the goals I've accomplished, but man, so let's talk about how to get unstuck or how to get that second wind. What about the people who are like, oh man, I already got to January and I haven't accomplished many, if any, of my goals for January. I don't know what to do. Well, the good news is you have 11 more months before you get to December 31st, 2022, and look back and say, oh no, I didn't achieve many, if any, of my goals. There's still plenty of time to get unstuck, to get your second wind, or to keep on chugging if you've been doing pretty good, but you feel kind of stuck, plateaued, to your second wind. Hold on. Oh, good for you, Lenore. Lenore Love says, Stacey Storino, I reached 5,000 subscribers this morning. And of course, the other students are cheering her on. Stuff and Junk by Heine says, Lenore Love, that is amazing. Congrats. It is amazing, and congrats. Ann McDonald said, yes, Lenore, you rock. She does. Chicken Swell says, congratulations, Lenore. And Bridget is here. Hey, Miss Bridget. What's going on? Hashtag live. Marissa Parson says, congrats, Lenore. Good. I'm very, very proud. Now, for those who are just tuning in or the last couple of days, several days ago, Lenore was like telling everybody, hey, Stacey talks so much about email marketing, and I might have, not been so great at it, but I started listening. And of course, after the first week or so, when you're starting to market to your list again, they're not used to it or they haven't heard from you in so long. She did get some unsubscribes up front, but I told everybody to go and get email lists or reinvigorate your email list, start marketing to them. You got to email them once a week or the trail just goes too cold. People have too many other things competing for their attention. They will forget you exist and go, oh, did I even sign up for this list? When, yeah, they did. You didn't spam them. You didn't buy some spam list, of course. But they're going to be like, I don't even know who this is. I forgot. It's just not that important. I'll unsubscribe. So the first week to 2 weeks of you really working a list that wasn't used to it, you're going to get probably more unsubscribes than the subscribes, right? Because everything I teach you on this channel, especially with my pre-edited videos, it's all about content marketing to drive people to your business so that you can do more business. And part of driving people to your business is at least capturing the email leads, right? So you can market to them separate and parallel. People tend to, even in their young 20s, check their email up to 19 times a day. They do not check their social that many times. Sure, they're on a couple social platforms for around an hour a piece, but still, they're going to be checking their emails and kind of treating those more like, especially if they open them, like real business. That's why up to 75% of your sales, when you're marketing persistently and consistently, roughly 3/4 should come from your email list from month to month. Stands to reason if you're doing what Lenore did, where she reinvigorated her list, she lost some of the chaff, she kept the rest of the wheat, and she's been cleaning out her unsubscribes as she's been going, and she's been marketing at least once a week, if not more. She's certainly making offers to her list. Look at what happened. Look at what she told us today. She's grown her email list to 5,000 people, and they're not running away scared because she's selling to them. I love that. So Bridget says, woohoo, Lenore. And Lenore says, thanks, guys. I love that. I'm going to take a screenshot of it. I love it so much. All right. So, yay. All right. So there we go. Let's talk about the 7 tips I have. If you feel like you're in a slump or you're kind of super tired, you need to catch your second wind. No matter how January has been going for you, it's not too late. So here's my 7 tips to help you shake off that entrepreneurial slump or even the threat of any slump before it shakes your game too much. So, first, I want you to have a mindset that acknowledges reality. So, sure, the stress of making big changes, especially in your business, and laying down new tracks for your life in real life with your network, who may or may not have any other entrepreneurs in them. You may have some major naysayers. Your husband, wife, significant other might be panicked. This is your fifth business. Will it really make money this time? You know, so you have to have a mindset that acknowledges reality and understanding that people in real life around you might be making adjustments. On your personal social media, we talked about this a couple days ago. Your business should not be in the witness protection program. Even on your regular Facebook timeline, for example, 1 out of every 10 posts that you do socially, approximately, could be about your business. Not that you're necessarily trying to be salesy, but you're showing people behind the scenes. If you're a coach or a course creator, you could be taking a picture with your microphone and you're recording a new lesson and saying, recording a new lesson for my clients. Or if you put up a new YouTube video, hey, friends and family, you or someone you know might want to go see this video. Or if you're a products-based business, handmade or otherwise, packing up all these orders and getting ready to take them to the post office. I love, making my customers happy. Or look behind the scenes as I'm making this widget. So much awesome, intricate work, but I love doing it and my customers love ordering these from me. You're not directly being salesy, but other people are showing you what they're doing in their lives personally and professionally. Why shouldn't you? Plus all the content marketing you're going to do on your business accounts. So the stress of getting persistent and consistent and following through on power hours. Remember, power hours are for implementation. These live streams or any videos you watch, free or paid from me or anybody else, that's not implementation, that's education. Yes, it's important. Education, will help you to take action and to be faster and more efficient in terms of your implementation. It'll even show you how to implement depending upon the training. But you need to put in an hour a day where you are absolutely content marketing and networking. We talked a couple days about how I'd network via social media so that you don't violate group rules or get kicked off, any sort of threads or Discord servers, whatever fits your content marketing and your networking strategy. It's going to depend on your ideal customer and where they hang out most of the time, right? But, you need about an hour of creating content, planning the content out, putting it into auto posters or auto scheduling solutions, like maybe later or something like that. You need an hour to go network. You need an hour to answer questions that people might have about your offerings via email in your inbox and stuff. So that's already a lot more juggling on top of your personal life, right? So making those big changes and implementing persistently and consistently might seem overbearing, but you need to respect the fact that you're doing a lot of hard work. And remember that the journey of your business moves on. You do not want to get to December 31st and say, I didn't hit many or any of my goals. You do have to keep moving forward. You have to appreciate the fact that, especially if you're starting a business or pivoting or jump starting a business that's kind of laying dormant, including but not limited to an email list like Lenore did. I love her results. You have to appreciate the fact that your business is in a transitional phase where the newness of your changes and all the excitement of, say, the coaching you've been doing with me, any courses you bought from me or anybody else, setting up shop. Maybe you cleaned up your office or cleaned up your workspace if you have a products-based business, or, you've got everything ready and it's so exciting to do that. But then the newness wears off. You've been implementing, we hope, persistently and consistently. And now it's like you're in a routine. Sure, that's great. But now, of course, it's more flaming batons to juggle, right? And simultaneously, you may not be yet in a place where, as an entrepreneur, you're very deeply embedded on your new path long enough to the point that all of your learning curves are gone, right? Or at least most of them. And so if there's updates, your fingers on the pulse, not a problem from now on. You might not be deeply embedded on your new path of entrepreneurship to the point where content marketing, networking, email marketing is like completely second nature to you, so that it's your new way, right? But you have to think of yourself as the hero or the heroine in the story of your life. Do any of you remember about a week or two ago where I talked about the heroin acronym? Not a heroin rush, but like HEROINE. And even if you're a dude, heroin. H stands for choosing to highlight the benefits of achieving your personal and professional why. Your why was day one, personal and professional. E stands for engaging with the people, places, and things that are necessary for you to reach your entrepreneurial goals every day, week, month, business quarter, season, what have you. R stands for rewarding yourself every time you achieve a goal. Certainly short-term goals, 90 days or less, you should still be celebratory of them. Long-term goals, anything that takes longer than 90 days. Of course, you celebrate those. But you have to get in the habit of catching yourself do something right and rewarding yourself, because that's going to keep you from feeling stagnant and in a slump in and of itself. O in this acronym stands for perpetually seeking the next opportunity to do something on behalf of your business so that you live more in conjunction with both your personal and professional why. I stands for choosing to be innovative and not repetitive with your actions. Yes, repetition is the mother of skill, and if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But if you're being repetitive in your pacing and perseverating or dancing up to the edge of your comfort zone, but not jumping out of it, like Bridget was doing that for a while, but now she's sending emails too. Today's a day for celebrating email success, apparently. And Bridget's also scheduled her, her welcome series. So as she continues to build up her email list, her automated welcome series is now out. And now she's learning how to schedule broadcasts ahead of time. They're not an automated welcome series, but if she wants to send out an email once a week, she can do them all, batch create them, and then schedule them in. And of course, she can send other broadcasts just organically as she needs to. Once a week is a floor. It is not a ceiling. If you end up emailing your list every day or close to it, there might be some people who are aggravated and go, this is too much email. But statistically speaking, and I'm living proof of this, you make more sales when you do. And after 8 going on 9 years of coaching, every person that went, heavens to Murgatroyd, I could never be emailing people that much. Who needs that much email? They're like, you know what, Stacey, you're right. I have to build up slowly from 2 sales a month to 1 averaging every week, because I don't know how I get my business to 6 figures and beyond if I don't. And the people who do stay on my email list tend to buy. And it might be small in the beginning, but a growing percentage will buy every single month. Yep, that's true. Bridget says, for getting unstuck, I have a friend that says, just make crap. Crap fertilizes the roses. And she said, I sent 2 emails this week. You go, girl. You want more money, folks, you have to make more offers. It's just that simple. But yet it's difficult. But, it's difficult when you are an older female, especially because you feel very uncomfortable about doing that. Gen X and, baby boomers, women weren't supposed to be too much or too aggressive. There is a difference between being assertive and aggressive. You can Google the difference and be like, wow, there's no way I'm going to be aggressive. But yet I do need to catch myself being more assertive. I have to reward myself. So let's do the heroin acronym again, and I'll go through the other tips. So H stands for choosing to highlight the benefits of achieving your professional why. E stands for you engaging with the people, places, and things that are necessary for you to achieve your business goals. R stands for rewarding yourself every time you achieve a goal. O stands for perpetually seeking the next opportunity to, do work. and to, to implement on behalf of your professional why, on behalf of your business. I stands for choosing to be innovative and not just uselessly repetitive with your actions. Okay. If it ain't broke, don't fix. But if it is broken, you need to be innovative to fix it. N stands for having the nerve to leave your comfort zone to achieve your goals. And as uncomfortable as you are doing new things, like say Lenore was, like say Bridget was, you will come out on the other side better for having done it. E stands for putting all of your energy towards goal achieving consistency. So, so first, when you have a mindset that acknowledges the reality of I'm juggling a lot more, and like my mind, my emotions, and even my body might be healing from all of this extra work. Maybe I'm not in a slump. Maybe I'm kind of like just getting over all this new plateau's worth of demands on me, right? But I can use the heroin acronym to have that mindset plus that implementation basis to continue to push my business forward every day. So that's just tip number one for getting unstuck. The other ones will go faster. Second, I want you to double your efforts to find and beef up your dream team. That is definitely something that we talked about a lot in previous days' training. So again, the first pinned comment will take you to the playlist so you can kind of catch up. You can double your efforts to find and or beef up your personal and professional dream team. For my intermediate people watching this with their business, like your business is making multiple 5 figures, you're heading towards 6 figures. Yes, even you should be taking about 25% of your net profits and reinvesting them back into your business, or you will be wearing all the hats for way too long, and you will definitely hit a slump because you will definitely be burned out, and it does not serve you to do that. Okay. Mike Reinart said, yes, I agree. I have found that people want to buy horse manure from our farm. I would have never thought that we could literally sell manure. That is so perfect. Sometimes I love that, Mike, and thank you for sharing that. Everybody be like, yay, Mike, and put a poo emoji. That's the best. And you can put like a bag of money next to it too. You never know what your ideal customer needs from you. We did talk about interfacing them and networking with them in a variety of ways over the last several days. And sometimes your ideal customer tells you what they want. And then it's like printing money all day long, right? Because they say what they want from you. For example, the popularity plan was something I hadn't thought of. I was selling my coaching. I was selling my courses that I created. I was not thinking of digital downloads, but I had so many students tell me, Stacey, I'm learning what you're teaching me, but like I'm still in the solo part. And okay, I'm profitable. I'm starting to work towards my first 5 figures of income and stuff. But, it's hard for me given my personal life, my family life, and everything I otherwise have to do professionally to be able to cover my daily content marketing goal plus my once a week email that's at least relationship marketing. Yeah, I could stick a little PS in there if there's a coupon or a sale going on. In the meantime, how am I supposed to do it all? Would you? And I mean, people were literally telling me, would you create something like even if it does 15 days worth of content for me, the graphics, the captions, and and then could you write a templated email once a week? And I would pay you for that. And when it's like one student, you go, well, maybe that one person, but like other students were saying yes, to the point where I ran polls in a variety of groups and then overwhelmingly was told this is what we want. And so the popularity plan was born. Similarly, I'm going to guess that Mike was talking to his customers and networking with them and found that he had stuff on his farm he never even thought he could smelt down for cash. So I think that's great. Jade Sharkey goes, yay, Mike. And Carol O'Neill says, way to go, Mike. Yep. So, you should probably be talking about that more and more, Mike. Sell your harvest, sell your smithy work, and sell. I'm Chicken Swell said, yes, Mike. And she Oh, literally put up the poo emoji in the money bag. I love it. That's so great. So, you never know what your ideal customers like you will know when you do your market research and you research your ideal customers, their demographics and their psychographics, like we've talked on previous days. But when you start polling them and or you really start networking with them and listening to them, they will be like, here, take my money on stuff you might never have thought. But you have to earn the know, like, and trust to get that. Does that make sense? If you're not building up a brand-based community through persistent and consistent content marketing and engaging on their engagements and commenting on their comments and showing that you care, like, do you really think that then if you threw up a poll and said, hey, you want to buy from me some more, do you really think that those people are going to be like yes and or do it? No. So for everybody that goes, don't bother with content marketing, you, and as you grow bigger, you and your team will always have to be focusing on content marketing. Okay. Stuff and Chunk by Heidi has a whole bunch of mics laughing. I love it. You guys on the replay, it's a shame these replay comments don't show, even though I checked the box, because this stuff is gold today. I never thought I'd see so many poo emojis and bags of money in one live in my entire life. That is awesome. Catherine Burrell is here going, what the heck with all the poo emojis and the money? You're going to have to listen to the replay, Miss Catherine. You wouldn't believe me if I told you. Anyway. All right, so tip number 2 is doubling down on your efforts to find and or beef up your dream team to help you personally and professionally. Could be 2 separate parallel things. It depends on your facts and circumstances. Again, catch up on the replays so that you understand what a dream team is. And we really got deep into that conversation that particular day, where people were like, even if you're on public assistance, you go here, you go here, you go here. And then leveraging the people you already have. Like, even if you have no money or barely any money, or you only have some money, there's so many free resources, even if you're not on public assistance, out there to help you as an entrepreneur. You don't know what you don't know. So you definitely want to catch that Dream Team replay day. That day was especially like deep with the comments and people sharing resources and just proving my point. There's a dream team out there, even if you don't have much of anything. And then, of course, as you can reinvest into that, as you get more profitable, you should too. And also, before I go on to the third tip, you want to brainstorm with your dream team. You could tell them, hey, listening, I feel like I've hit a plateau. I feel like I'm kind of burned out. I feel like, I've got a lot on my plate. Yes, my business is growing. I am reinvesting back into my business, but I may still need more help so that I don't get burnt out. You can leverage them in a variety of ways to give you help. And, they can also brainstorm with you, fresh perspectives, second pair of eyes, if you will, about new and exciting ways to meet your SMAART goals that are best for entrepreneurs. Yeah, a dream without a goal is just a wish, but like goals are airy fairy crap, going with the poo emoji thing today. Dreams are airy fairy crap without plans. So when you go through the SMAART goal filter, your goals, your wishes, your desires get into very fine-grained plans in terms of the who, what, where, when, why, how, timetables, mile markers, everything. So if you've missed any of those replays, definitely you want to look at days 2, 3, and 5. And you want to make those goals very believable goals, as we discussed in a previous day too. Why do I set all these goals? I might even make all these plans, and I'm still self-sabotaging. I must be stupid. I'm never going to succeed. It could be that there's certain things you need to do to increase the believability of your goals so that subconsciously you're not attacking yourself all the time. And we talked about different ways to do that. Okay, third, tip number 3 to get out of a slump entrepreneurially is, if things are dragging you down, you might have to shake things up. So you want to put some healthy pressure on yourself to get back in the game. Sometimes it's just that simple as catching yourself, honoring where you are, not marinating in the misery of it. It's like we said a week at least ago. Remember when I was like, get down off the cross, Margaret. You need the wood, right? Because you need to get down off the cross to use the wood to build the house of your business success. And sometimes, whoosh, that is enough to at least get your motor up and running. And then you can implement these other 6 other tips that I'm giving you out of the 7. The 4th tip is you're going to totally be in a slump if you're alone and bored and stagnant. So I want you to get out there and make new connections every day through networking with your Franks and the Franks of your Franks to keep folding folks into your world and rekindle the flame of novelty and fun, personally and professionally, quite frankly, right? That might keep you psyched up enough to keep the positive changes going. And again, Franks is friends, relatives, acquaintances, neighbors, kids, parents, spousal connections, and I always like to throw in coworkers, past and or present, right? So, and you never know, doing this sort of networking, even more socially, but you're talking about like what they're doing and what's going on with them professionally, and then you're talking about what's going on for you professionally. And they might not even think you still have your business or that you were still serious about it, or they might not have even really known or remembered you had a business at all. Several days ago, we talked about being in the witness protection program in our business. You got to do a lot of content marketing to get visible to your ideal customer. But even on your personal profiles, if you've kind of been hiding and not sharing, it's kind of hard, right? But you never know, through 6 degrees of separation, even if your immediate circle of Franks, no one or almost no one is your ideal customer, their Franks and the Franks of their Franks, definitely. You've got ideal customers there. But, so stop being stagnant, get out there and socialize. But when it's appropriate, definitely bring up your business, just like someone else would bring up their work, jobs or things that they're doing or accomplishing professionally. You should do it too. And that might help to get you out of a slump. The 5th tip is to keep things interesting by altering any pre-existing routines that you have going on in connection with your goals. Like, again, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Hey, Tiffany, what's going on? I'm bound by Tiffany's here. Everybody's greeting her. Oh, Mike says, I'm sorry I missed that. Mike says, definitely. I hope to make a course soon. We make tools. Now I found a lot of folks buy the tools and then message back, how do I use them? Yup. So Mike's going from having his blacksmith business, his farm, which probably has a farm stand business. Oh, Mike, let me tell you. So I got this flyer, and I would never do flyers. This is like a big waste of money. But in your content marketing, including videos you do, live streams that you do, replays that you post, I want you to know this one local place. It's so cute. On this flyer, they let everyone know our animals are raised outside on pasture by highly principled local farmers. So these are things that you might be able to talk about with your farm stand. No antibiotics or hormones ever. They give a website on here, which I would rather capture the leads. So I would say go to this website or link to get on, to get a coupon for free bacon and eggs when you sign up, which is really cool because then that's lead capture. You've got fresh crops coming in every season, something different. So you could be emailing your list about that. And so what's really funny is okay, so they have a lot of like animals, of course, that they butcher, right? That may not fit you exactly, but think about packages that you could do, Mike. I've been meaning to tell you about this. That could kind of be similar to this. They have the Just Grind for $39.99 a month, ground meat only. Then there's Basics from $49.99 a month, ground meat, sausages, whole chicken, and roasts. See how they're building to get that extra $10. And for any of my product space and handmade product space people, think about like how you can build your own little packages or kits to sell like this. The complete package from $84 a month, ground meat, sausages, steaks, ribs, chops, chicken cuts, roasts, and more. And then custom from $89 a month, you could build your own, share, and update as you like. So I love this. So my email opt-in for them would be get free bacon and eggs when you sign up. Okay. I love that. Mike says, I love that. That sounds cool. I so meant to tell you the other day, and I went down the rabbit hole. We were having fun, but I didn't give that to you. So anybody else who's like, well, I'm not Mike, and I'm not going to sell produce, and baskets of produce and stuff like that, produce kits that I ship out, because Mike can really make good. He can even hit a handling fee on each of those and make money with every box, no matter what. You are welcome, Michael. You are welcome. But my product space people, some people are doing kits, box kits and stuff like that. Joe's Dairy Bar and Grill is a kit that does sell well on our website and even through Grubhub, where it's a DIY make your own Sunday kit. It sells pretty well. So people don't want to go out to do all or most of their chores or shopping, or they want to hang out at the house and they want to have something to do. They could get kits from Mike Reinart and what they might like, or from you. They could get craft kits. They could get make your own jewelry kit this month, right? But Michael, you now know also from talking to your people, networking with them, do polls in a Facebook group, do it all the time. You know what? You've identified that you can sell them the tools and the pieces, and that you can also sell them a course, right? So that is so smart. And Catherine's right. SMART, SMART, are days 2, 3, and 5. That's right for those people that need to go back to that. And Ann McDonald, I don't know why I skipped this. My bad. You never know what is valuable to people. Blacksmith course for people in remote areas would also be of value. That's true. Yes, you should make a course. I can tell you right now, you can easily scale to 6 figures and beyond with courses. I'm all about courses. But, I wasn't selling digital download packets like I do from month to month with the popularity plan. It literally took my people to tell me what else they needed from me. Now, from time to time, I will pull and ask anyway, but people were telling me, just like they were telling you with the cow dung for fertilizers. How many people are trying to homestead, for example, right? And so they may need fertilizers before, they get their own animals up and running, right? So think about it. And so what can you guys do with your businesses, no matter what those models are, to get additional streams of income? So if you guys are getting value from this, make sure you give this video a big thumbs up. I don't care for myself. I just want to make sure that while I'm live, more of my students get pinged. And then on the replay, more of my students who have subscribed can see this in their feeds. So if you guys could give this video a thumbs up, I would really appreciate that. Okay. So again, if something's not broke, you don't have to fix it. But if you've got any sort of pre-existing routines about what you do when, you might want to flip things around just to kind of freshen things up. Like your brain, your analytical brain will be like, I'm not in the same slumpish pattern where, I'm implementing for at least an hour a day in terms of marketing on behalf of my business. But, you want to do anything you can. So, to mix things up and keep it fresh, just like you would do in a marriage or a relationship, right? You keep doing the same old. It's like, boo, after a while, right? So it's easy to be stupefied by a slump when your life is same old, personally or professionally. Also, with your content marketing, you do want to not be so totally rote and predictable. So occasionally I get a student who will say to me, okay, Stacey, you're talking about using an auto poster or auto scheduling solution for my emails, at least to cover my base once a week, and then email more or even schedule more if I want to. Cool. Do you recommend that I get something like Later? I'm not going to drop an affiliate link to Later, but let's just say Later, for example. There's Planoly, there's Hootsuite, there's so many other things, right? But let's just pretend Later. So, do you recommend that I get an auto posting solution like Later? Sure. No matter how busy you are or not, personally and professionally, otherwise, when that's something you can do in a fiscally responsible way, yes, because it's going to be hard to keep juggling all the batons as you amp up and ramp up your business more. You get more inquiries, you get more streams of income, and you have to work all those. There's no such thing as truly passive income, but some of these will be more passive than others. And then you're making more money, but then there's more customer service. And if you're a products-based business, there's more, bandwidth that you have to expend to send things out and fill orders and whatever, right? If you're a coach or a course creator, it's a little bit more chill, but still, I can tell you, I have to have office hours. I have to deal with, messages and emails and of course get in and out of all my student groups to make sure that I don't miss anything. I try not to miss anything. And then if I run a poll, I better be checking in on that and answering any questions under the poll. You know what I mean? So like you get busier and busier and busier. So let's say, for example, you're like, well, should I use later? And should I batch create content? Yes. Should I batch record videos, long ones for YouTube, short ones for like TikTok and Instagram Reels? Sure. Should I batch upload them to an auto poster or scheduler like later? Sure, you can. And would that be all I would do and then just keep up with my inboxes and do my networking? And I would say no. Because you do want some serendipitous stuff. This is a brand-based community you're building a relationship with. You don't want to just, this is such a Gen X phrase, but you don't want to just keep mailing it in, phoning it in, faxing it in, right? Because then it's going to start feeling stale to them too. So always look at your analytics as well, because they may say, you know what, you need to switch it up. Everyone was here at 9 a.m. on a Tuesday, and now like 10 a.m. on a Wednesday is the hot time. So switch things up. Make sure you're not just stale auto posting, auto scheduling everything. Look at your analytics so that you can zig if you need to, if you've just been zagging. The sixth tip I'd give you is dive deeper into whatever it is you're particularly struggling with as an entrepreneur instead of running away from it. So if you need to enroll in a class in person, online, and I'm not just saying with me, with an aspect of communal participation in it, like say a corresponding Facebook group, lots of coaches do that. There's people, there's fun, there's commonality. People will be validating your experiences and validating your feelings and your thoughts and normalizing your experiences. That has a lot of value to it, right? So knowledge is power, but it's like potential power. It's only power if you act on it. So like I said, you have to have a power hour at least for just implementation a day. But maybe a new Facebook group or class or workshop is going to help you feel a little fresher. And then you've got pacing partners or peers to grow with and to talk shop with. The seventh tip I have is for you to reevaluate, especially your short-term goals versus your long-term goals. Maybe spend, like, especially if you've been really good throughout January with me, you've got your short-term goals, which are 90 days or less expected to achieve them, or your long-term goals, anything over 90 days. Ideally, they're in the year 2022. Some people really like to set like 5, 10, 20-year goals too. I'm not saying don't, but what I really want to do is focus, laser beam focus on getting to December 31st and saying, you know what? I've accomplished all, or at least most, of my goals. Bridget says, I love later. I'm scheduling posts out for national days almost a year out. I have ADHD, so when I am hyper-focused late at night, I can make my graphics and captions and schedule. And yes, continue to do that. It's important that you cover your bases. And I'm sure, as with most people, when you do that work that far out in advance, you feel less pressure, stress, and noise. I know I've got my bases covered, right? Or I know I have a lot of them covered. It's going to be really hard for me not to be more successful because I wasn't doing this or anything like this a year ago, right? So Bridget says, I just have to remember to check the hashtags for my posts before they post. But even if they post, they have a caption. Absolutely. Now, one tool I will drive you to down below is Flick. Flick.tech is something that I am a very active affiliate for. A lot of my students, especially paid students, use Flick.tech. I've just not found a free or a paid tool that does all the things that it does. And of course, it's got different plans. I'm a pig. I have the biggest plan, but it also shows me everything from what hashtags are gaining traction to what hashtags are losing traction. It will show you which hashtags tend to get more engagement and which ones less so. Like, sure, there's some things you can do longhand math style through a freebie or through just manually doing it, say on Instagram. How popular is this hashtag? Okay, it's more than 100,000. I'm going to try to find hashtags I could be more competitive with. Yeah, sure. Something like FlickTech can save you a lot of time and put it in little graphs and tables and stuff. Super fast, fast, fast. It'll suggest stuff out, but it does so much more than that. So if you're ready to reinvest back into your business with a tool, it's even not that expensive. Man, I would definitely check out Flick.tech. If you click through my link, you'll get a week free, I think, with everything unlocked. So you can kind of see what I mean. So seventh, like I said, the seventh and last tip is to reevaluate your short-term goals versus your long-term goals in your goal-keeping ritual. I want to say that was day 5 or 6, the goal-keeping ritual, right? Because that's like just 5-10 minutes a day max. It does not take a lot of time. You can make it part of your power hour when you're first starting out, okay? But eventually your power hour is going to be such wall-to-wall implementation because guess what? You have a profitable business. Yay! But you should still keep up with 5-10 minutes a day. Yes, every day of the year, and kind of checking to see which goals have you crossed off your list. And you should celebrate. You should catch yourself doing something right. You're less likely to feel dried out and in a slump if you're celebratory and you're like, yay. But also you can see what progress you're making towards your longer term goals. So you kind of feel like you're getting your second win there. Look at me. But like also if you're falling out of integrity with one or more of your goals, well, you can catch yourself and say, that's okay. Look at what I've done today. And what can I do to make sure that I am not going to fall out of integrity with one or more of these goals tomorrow, right? And if you haven't been able to achieve a goal in a while, personally or professionally, well, no wonder you're feeling like you're losing traction, you're in a slump. Sure you are. But maybe you need to dice up some long-term goals that you set into short-term goals, right? Or take a short-term goal where you're like, I don't get it. This should take, way less than 30 days to succeed, let alone it's not going to take 90 days. Why am I not getting traction with a particular short-term goal? Depending upon your situation, I've had students take that short-term goal and just shatter it into a bunch of baby step goals. And what can I do today that will get me traction, tomorrow that will get me traction once I've done these things, and just shatter it down, chunk it up or chunk it down, and see how changing your perspective or how many rungs on the ladder or how many steps, it kind of changes your thought process and it freshens these goals up. So any of these tips that I've given you will hopefully help you breathe life into your entrepreneurial cause and help you dump your slump. You just have to follow through on them instead of just sitting there, and just feeling like, well, it's getting to the end of January and I did it again. I did not hit many, if any, of my goals. You still have 11 months left. And some people like the book recommendations, so I'm not dropping any links to anything there. You could try the book. I recommend to students at times when this is a stumbling block for them, the book Getting Things Done, The Art of Stress-Free Productivity by David Allen, Allen. All right. So, yay, and everybody's cheering Miss Bridget on, which they should. Go, Bridget. And then Heidi says, I need to really dig into the training on Flick, but it's been very interesting looking at the analytics. The analytics will teach you a lot. It will save you a lot of time. And I promise you, Heidi, like, I barely have anybody say, nah, Flick isn't for me. Once you're done with the training and the implementation on it, because, if you don't optimize your posts well, I'm not just talking to Heidi now, I'm just talking to the ubiquitous you, any of you watching live or on the replay. And make sure you give this video a big thumbs up. I want that replay to get out there to more people now. You could create the best content in the world, but if it's not optimized properly, it's not going to be seen. And then you did all that work for nothing, or you will get it seen. But if you go too broad, and it's not with buyer's intent, remember, guys, we talked about optimization one day. That was a particularly long day, but it was worth it. We talked about optimization, optimizing with not just hashtags that are, of course, related to the content, and of course, hashtags you could be competitive for, but also, of course, hashtags where the people more likely than not have buyer's intent. It's all the difference between having, like, say you're a handmade business, um, you create hummingbird earrings. If all or most of your optimization on, say, Instagram is with hashtags that say hashtag hummingbird, hashtag hummingbirds, hashtag hummingbirds of Instagram, and you're really not putting in there hashtag hummingbird earrings, plus, even if you put hashtag hummingbird earrings in there, or at least hashtag jewelry, I would put both of them in there. As we all agreed, if you're looking for, content on Instagram, to stick with this example, that has to do with hummingbirds, and so you're pulling up hashtag hummingbird content, hashtag hummingbirds of Instagram content. If you see a pair of, hummingbird earrings, but you weren't shopping for earrings, is that very, very likely going to make you want to buy? And everybody said probably not, because I wasn't thinking about it. So I'm not saying you could never get sales that way. Of course, I'm not a guarantor of an outcome one way or another. But what I will say is it's more like a Hail Mary pass in full football to get a sale that way. But when you're going for buyer's intent, people are pulling up, in this same example, all the content that has to do with hashtag hummingbird earrings, you're more likely to get a sale. So not every piece of content that we put out is going to be sell, 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 buy, 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 but a lot of it is, because we're businesses. So even when we're doing our relationship marketing based content, we need to optimize, right? But if you're not optimizing properly with hashtags that don't just describe what's in there, but a buyer's intent, and then if you're using later, you can see which of those hashtags to really highlight and use, maybe over others if you have to make a distinction, like what hashtags are gaining in popularity and which ones are fading. Which hashtags are more likely going to get you engagement, because an engaged person is more likely to convert, right? They're more likely to become a follower if they're not already. They're more likely to get on your email list if they haven't already, and they are more likely to buy if they haven't already. So, like, just so much food for thought. Do any of you guys have any questions for me? We have 2 more days of lives, and then and then January is over. The daily lives are over, but we're going to go back to lives at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Wednesdays. But don't forget, on the other days on this channel, there's going to be pre-edited content that's going to come out that will help you do what? Everything that we talk about for the whole rest of the year, which is more of the brass tacks and the fine-grained stuff about content marketing as a grown adult that's going to get you grown adult conversions, right? I'm not for the teeny boppers that want to show you a million ways to, like, use the latest stickers, I'm here to show you how to do the content marketing that's going to get you sooner or later to buyers, because that's what you're doing it for. Anybody have any questions while I take my drink? I am parched. I don't know about you, but there's a lot of heat going on in my house, because we're definitely getting a ton of snow. But I'm in upstate New York, and that tends to happen. All right, so remember to go to don'tbeafakeguru.com, because that will give you this year's opt-in if you don't have it already. And that's going to be a 10-step guide, so that when someone comes across any content that your business puts out and they've never otherwise seen you before, it's like 10 different ways to make sure that you don't look like a faker or like a crappy business, or a fake guru, if you will, and 10 ways to become a true guru, what to do so that, listen, you never get a second chance to make a first impression. Make the best first impression for your business that you can't. I don't care what business model you're in. Guru, or fake guru or true guru makes people think of coaches and course creators, sure. But like my product-based people swear by these steps too. They do matter, and they will increase the likelihood of 1, 2, or all 3 macro conversions, depending upon how buyer aware the person is. All right, I will talk to you guys later. Bye. Happy Saturday.